Hello and welcome to this live broadcast on the Fruci Fit page. And today we have an amazing 30 minutes talking about Fruci Fit. I suppose now would be a good time for everybody to come on screen. Hello, Matt.
Hello, Stephen. How are we doing?
Hello, Julie. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I went out for a 5K this morning and I got back in one piece, so I'm a happy chap.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Very
There we
kind
go.
of you. Right now, if we start at the beginning, and I'm just going to put a couple of things up on screen. First of all, welcome to the show. If you're watching live on Facebook or even if you're on a replay, thank you for watching. We're going to, or Julie and Matt between them are going to tell the Fruci Fit story, and then we're going to expand on that. And just to note, we'll leave this on the bottom. If you're watching and you don't know what this is about, there are Fruci Fit centres in Devizes, Marlborough, Chippenham, and we're all in Wiltshire and we're in England. So if you're watching from the States, welcome. But these are, well, this is a live experience at the gyms, training centres. So, Matt, how did this start?
So you could probably go back actually to growing up. Always had a interest in nutrition. Probably growing up in an Italian family makes it hard not to like nutrition and food, right? But anything sort of growing up as well kind of made me, I guess, unfortunately, more interested in food. And having IBS growing up as well, and not realizing that that's not normal. I guess you only know what you know, right? I pasta, pizza, Italian family, and I'd often eat, and then if you're having your lunch and this is too much information, go straight to the loo. And I used to think that was normal. And as I grew up, I realized actually that's not the case, and I shouldn't feel a certain way after eating. So having a gluten intolerance and allergy to gluten as well obviously led me more into it as well. And if I fast forward a little bit on there, so the Italian family into that, always around dieting, eating disorder. I studied at Loughborough University, which is more sport focused. Then later on, finally went down my passion in terms of nutrition, more specifically in human nutrition and diabetes. And all of this, whilst personal training, I started personal training really into football growing up, martial arts, and then more so the bodybuilding side of things. And so I started personal training alongside this and studying, and started to enjoy it and train people when I was coming back from university and renting spaces and stuff like that. And I started just organically almost just training women more so. Maybe women, maybe not really into the gym, but would want some help, want to get fit, feel more confident, to improve their relationships with food. And this is probably because of some of the stuff I would talk about online, like we are now around, how to actually enjoy life, have a life whilst still getting fit and strong. Like live your life, but whilst at the same time getting a bit fitter, stronger, improving your relationship with food. And I did notice that I train people and, the great session, really motivated when they're in the session, but then a week later, they wouldn't have done anything, or maybe they'd gone to the gym, done something safe, like a cross trainer in the corner, avoiding the weights, avoiding the dumbbells, the big weights, and things that I know would actually get them great results. But actually, consistency is more important. So what we started to do then is go, would you do some stuff from home? Let's do some body weight. So we'd be in the corner of a gym, just using minimal equipment. So I know they could do it on their own at home with minimal equipment, which then meant better adherence, better results, more working out, which is great. And that was working well. One lady then had a bit of a panic attack in the gym, and we went upstairs, had a coffee, sat down, talked through. And she then wanted me to train her in her home, which I did, worked really well. She then brought her friend along one week. And then, I started to think there's definitely something to this, actually more consistency, like-minded people together, rather than let's go for the optimal workout in the gym all the time. Actually what you do on average is more important to having one great day once in a while. So I then thought, at the time during all this as well, I'm working for public health. I'm doing a diabetes program. So this is in Swindon. They got funding to run a diabetes program, which I was running at the time. So it was a 10-week program, like-minded people together. So people with type 1, type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes. One of the most powerful things was, 1, the accountability, 2, seeing people week on week, and 3, that like-mindedness together. So I thought, right, can we do this with the people who I'm training? So I put on a free program to come in, women 40 plus, minimal equipment, for free, and only one person turned up, and which wasn't the most great for my confidence. But as I always share when we run our education program, which Julie will go on to a bit later as well, is that there's a story about a starfish, which I always talk to my kids about, where there's a guy walking on the beach, chucking starfish back into the sea from the beach, and someone else says, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'm putting the starfish back into the sea." He said, "Why are you doing that for? This same you're not going to make a difference." So he turns around, bends down, chucks it in the sea, and says, "I made a difference to that one." And that's always stuck in my head from that. Like, you've got to, if you read the story, you've got to live it, especially if you've got kids, right? Don't want to be a hypocrite. And on that moment, so the lady came in, who's Cassie, who's on our website as well. He's done great. She wanted to walk her kids to school, etc., which she's done, and more from that as well, which is great. So she came in a mobility scooter and was using that a lot, and now, came through that, got stronger, fitter, and the word then started to spread a bit. We started to do a little bit more. Some people would come in, and then fast forward to now, where we've got one in Marlborough, one in Chippenham, one in Devizes. And then me and Julie started working together as well when we were in Marlborough. It all started, as Julie will go into in a second, but when I just happened to go on holiday, and all of a sudden, as Julie will explain, one thing led to another, and then we went on, and here we are now. So that's a bit of a background of where we are today.
Thank you. So, Julie, would you like to explain how you basically became part of Fruci Fit?
Yeah, so I met Matt because so I'd made a promise to myself that when my sons grew up, that I would return to the fitness that I enjoyed in my 20s. I always enjoyed mountaineering and outdoor pursuits. What I realised was, though, once you've got a career and you've had family, actually it becomes more challenging. And someone very close to me passed away, and I think it sometimes takes a moment like that to propel you into some action. And I stumbled across Matt in Facebook, like many of our ladies do. He popped up on my feed. Thought, this guy talks a lot of sense, was really surprised because he was local. We arranged to meet. We met in a local coffee shop. So I thought, well, this is going to be good because he obviously likes coffee too. So that's a promising sign. And the thing I really love about Matt and the philosophy that he brings to Fruci Fit is it's about making the impossible possible. So for me, I travelled for work. So going to a bog standard gym, doing sessions was just impossible. And Matt was like, well, that's not a problem. We can do this online. I've got an app. And it went from there. And I often remember, I used to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, do about 7 or 8 minutes of exercise using this app. And then in the evening, I'd get to the hotel and I'd do 7 or 8 minutes of this app. And that's the thing, people think, oh, I have to spend hours and hours doing activity in order to make that difference. But even just doing that consistently 7 days a week, that's 7 or 8 minutes was sufficient to increase that fitness. So got my fitness back and achieved an ambition. I went mountaineering with my son. We went backpacking across the Cairngorms, and I remember messaging Matt. We returned to civilization and immediately jumped on our devices, as we all seem to do these days, and messaged Matt and said, thanks. I'm done now. I've achieved my ambition. I can take it from here, because I've always enjoyed fitness. So I knew that was an okay thing to do. And Matt replied with, well, I've just been talking to the ladies about going on holiday and some holiday cover, because in those days there was just Matt. And the ladies have suggested that you might like to do that. And I remember replying going, don't be ridiculous. I don't work in the fitness industry. But Matt typically was like, nothing is an impossibility. And so I gained my qualifications and started delivering holiday cover for Matt. And it sort of grew arms and legs from there. It was very weird. Matt and I coming together from a business perspective was never a planned thing. It was never a thing. But Matt's very ambitious. And the one thing I like about Matt is, I asked him once, what are you trying to achieve with Fruci Fit? What's your vision? Where do you see this going? And he basically and simply said, I want to touch as many lives as possible and make that difference. And I thought, oh, that's I really like that, because I've worked for a national charity, so that really aligns with my own personal values. And I thought, oh, this is great. So there was never a particular day where we had a particular conversation that said let's come together and work together on the business. But what happens is, because Matt's got that drive to touch as many lives as possible, he just facilitates that, just comes up with ideas. And he said one day to me, I'm going to be opening in Devizes. I'm going to be opening a studio in Devizes. Would you be okay delivering there? And I was like, yeah, absolutely fine. I don't mind what I do. But typically my background is more business management, if I was honest, my career. And so I'm then asking Matt questions around, well, what are the clauses in the lease? And have you considered this in terms of the building you're taking on? And what about this in terms of, health and safety and how it fits with what you're trying to achieve? And is the building this, that, or the other? And I started asking lots of business questions, and Matt's like, this obviously was not Matt's favorite topic. And I just went, oh, do you want me to look at the lease? Oh, yeah, that would be great. And it sort of went from there. Every time Matt came up with an idea, I'd then ask questions and then get this look of, oh, really? And then I'd say, oh, do you want me to take that away and look at that? And that was really how we came together. That would be about right, Matt, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. The idea would come, and then the things that maybe I'm not thinking about, which is really important to get that, to make sure that it's not just a fluffy idea, but one that actually comes to action and makes a difference, because you can't touch the lives of loads of people with just fluffy ideas. It's got to be implemented, right? So,
and then it sort of grew from there. So do you want to talk through how Fruci Fit is now? From being in a church hall with sprinkly glitter on the floor.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about. We're in a church hall, which is where that free program started, and it was no control over the kind of cleanliness of it or anything like that. We just did it for the impact to have, and I think that's a great place to start, right? If you can get results wherever, whenever, just through action and ultimately following the research, scientific advice, but also caring. Most important thing, right? To get results, we knew kind of actually, we could offer more than what we're offering. So then we moved. We just happened to move kind of next door to where we were there, so we kind of had our own space for the first time, which was really great. So it allowed us to go from morning and evening sessions in random halls around Marlborough to all of a sudden offering daytime, mid-morning, lunchtime, evenings, weekends. It was because we had full control of it. And then we also, Julie led Devizes. So Julie was in Devizes, majority coming back in with Marlborough as well. And that was starting off in the church hall as we were there. And then we went into a studio snuff streeting devices. So we had that space there, and all of a sudden then we're offering more sessions there. In Marlborough, for a variety of reasons, we had to move. So then we found a bigger place where we are now in Lockeridge, real nice space, setting, and parking, which is ideal for where we are. And you would think that actually then we were kind of in a nice position, but then another opportunity came in Chippenham, which, if I'm honest, was on our list anyway, like on Facebook and online and with others. We had people traveling from Chippenham as well. People would often say, when are you getting one in Chippenham? Like on the comments on Facebook, can you get one in Chippenham? Can you get one in Chippenham? Is this Chippenham? Is it? And then all of a sudden we had the opportunity to open in Chippenham as well, which was 2021, I think now, yeah. Maybe 2022. It's probably 2021. It's 2021. It was 2021. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, and here we are now.
And of course, with that comes, you know, you've got to bring people into the business as well. And we're really lucky because we have a really great team of coaches that work across the studios. And I think for me, that was where it was really interesting. The fitness industry is quite a mixed bag, if I was honest, in terms of trainers and expertise. It is improving. But I remember when we first went out to recruit, and I said to Matt, you know, typically a question, do you want some help? What's your recruitment process, and various things. And we started to get involved with that. And I think it's really challenging in the fitness industry to find great people. I'm sure many people have experienced when they go to a gym and you'll see personal trainers standing there on their phone, you know, yeah, and their clients working over there. Yeah, carry on. Yeah, you're doing awesome. And they're still on their phone, or worse still, they're like hovering over, drinking a cup of coffee or talking to a colleague. And it really surprised me how low the standards are within the industry. And so from that point, we then started an education course. Matt came one day and went, how do you fancy setting up an education course? And it was like, well, that's an interesting diversification of the business. And the idea is so that we can leave a legacy in the industry where coaches are actually experienced in terms of the practicalities of working with clients. And also it gives us a source of individuals that we can tap into that we know of a reasonable standard. So we do the education. I think going back to our own team, I think our team have a real broad spectrum of experience and skills, and particularly because of the Kickstart programs. I don't know if you want to touch on that, Matt, in terms of what they do with clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So not only from a physical side, you know, do we do the muscle strength, the cardio, the functional exercise, the more circuit style, the core work, the stretching, the back to basics seated, the yoga, Pilates, even Tai Chi coming in there. So real diverse skills on there, all within the principles are the same in terms of having fun, getting stronger, fitter, moving more, good holistic life, but also abiding by our food, fitness, and focus, which is the 3 Fs, which essentially underpins everything that we do at Fruci Fit, because it's all about focusing on what you can do, right? There's always a reason to quit or leave it or go, I can't, that's not going to work that way. Well, I can't do that if you look for it, right? And this is why right from the start, when people join Fruci Fit, we have a Kickstart, and in the Kickstart, which our coaches do as well. So we have a group of us that do it. So when you come in, you have a Kickstart coach who essentially helps keep you accountable, but also checks in with you, sets your goals in terms of the food habit, the fitness habit, and the focus habit. And these are 3 legs of the stool, if you like. So if one's a bit off, the whole thing kind of topples over. But equally, if you can find that one habit, which is almost like the domino to the next one, then that's going to be the one that we focus on first. And actually, if you put it like that, there's always something you can control on, rather than trying to have the perfect week. It's actually about focusing on, okay, what can I do? Okay, I'm feeling a bit rough this week. Okay, great. Can we focus on the food this week? I can't get to my session. Okay, what can you do? Can you get a 1-minute workout, a 10-minute workout, a song challenge? These are all things that we incorporate in, because we know that actually if you're waiting for the perfect time, you'll never get results. If you're trying to only start when it's perfect, everything's in place, it's actually, that's the easiest time to do it. If you can make your bad days a little bit better, if you can make the stressful times a little bit better, they're going to get the results to stop falling off the bandwagon, the negative self-talk that we always see, the beating ourselves up, I can't stick to anything. And ultimately, it sometimes comes down to the expectations and perhaps the wrong goal setting process. So that's why we narrow it down to perhaps habits you can do today, like food habit. You know, I'll give one example that's fresh in my head. 2 days ago was simply just to write down what they eat before they eat it. Someone else was to make sure they have a snack box, that they do that in the morning. These are my snacks for the day. I'll have them when I want. Real simple things that they can implement straight away without actually really changing massive things, but really it's about the awareness, and equally the fitness, whether that's coming in once a week, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, or doing it from home. And then likewise, the focus, which is often neglected. This is about doing something for you that makes you feel good, that protects your energy, creates your energy. So, because essentially, if you feel good, actually, it's a lot easier to do the things that you know you need to do with your food and your fitness. So it all comes in together. So that's how that works. And like Julie said, that's our team do that. We do that together. So everyone has a Kickstart coach, and they'll check in within as well. So you really become a part of the journey. And actually, it's just so important to have those check-ins. We know from research, and you know, this stems right back as well. When I doing my diabetes work in the NHS and public health, when I was looking at creating that, it was like actually the same things come up. It's not about low carb, fat, protein, all that stuff that I really wanted to share about, because I just spent 7 years of my life studying. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. Oh, actually, it's just support, accountability. Oh, so I can't share any things I know. No, it's pointless. Not anything. But so it comes back down to taking action, that support, accountability, which is the most evidence-based thing out there. So yeah.
And I think what Matt brings as the foundation to Fruci Fit is the uniqueness of that. He has so much knowledge around not just the fitness side, but the nutrition, about menopause. I know that sounds may seem a bit weird that a guy knows so much around such a topic, but underpinning Fruci Fit is all of that knowledge. And then when you layer on top of that the community spirit that exists amongst the ladies, it's just incredible. So the ladies come together, and it doesn't matter, it's always you versus you. It doesn't matter what your fitness level is like, where you are in your own personal journey. Everybody supports everybody else. And I think we've got a video from the Fruci Rocks events that I don't know if we want to share, but that was an awesome event where all the ladies came together. You know, some of the ladies didn't even think they were going to be capable of participating, but it was tailored so that everybody could take part, everybody could do something, take a part. I don't know if you want to talk further about the Fruci Rocks event, Max. That was astoundingly great.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think it takes that fitness for everyone to that next level. And also from wherever you are in your journey, whether you're just starting out or a bit more experienced and wanted to push it, there was both ends of there, but it didn't feel like that, because actually we were just adapting it as you went around. And I remember when we chatted at the end, like the coaches, and we were all together at the end, and I actually said, I've never seen a fitness event like that, where you're actually coached through it. You know, when you get to a fitness event, of course, normally they're huge, right? We don't have a huge number there, and we've got all our coaches there. So if you think about it from like a 1 to 8 point of view, even in a fitness event where you're going, like, get your bum back a little bit more, chest up, knees back, make sure your form's on there, so the injury prevention is there, you're doing it safely, effectively. And I thought, this is quite unique, actually, really. Like, whereas normally people just, you know, just going for it, which is good, you know, but it was just that one step. It was like personal training in a fitness event environment, which is, I've never seen nothing like before. And I'll be honest, it didn't even cross my mind until I could visibly see us doing it, going, oh yeah, this is quite a bit different, this. Yeah. So yeah, it was great.
Shall we play past the video?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to bring the video on screen. It will be full screen, so we can't be seen. The only thing we need to do is just to switch our microphones off to actually stop any feedback. So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And I promise I will switch them back on in a moment. If I don't, just
A devices studio at the moment where we bring all of our clients together. So we've got Marlborough, Chippenham, devices all coming together where we do an event where it's based on you versus you. We have these events. We also have other styles of events where it's a good opportunity to see everything that we do. So from yoga to Tai Chi, Pilates to meditation to our high intensity to our muscle strength work. So all together. So you can experience different snippets of what we do, have a bit of fun, meet like-minded people. We aim to get you moving from A to B. Quite often people have got results before, maybe you were fitter before, or some people have never already got into exercise before or had to even think about it, and now they're in a place where, you know, I need to do something different, and they come to us and we meet you where you're at the moment. Move from A to B, whether that's with your food and you want to feel more in control of your food and your eating habits, snacking habits, whatever it is, your fitness, starting where you're at will move you from A to B. The biggest benefit of the community is everyone supports each other, so no matter where you're at, and you've seen throughout today, and a lot of the ladies experience it, which is great, whether someone's starting out doing the 8K, someone's starting out doing a 2K, you know, they might seem like they're doing a completely different event, but actually they're there doing the same exercises, supporting each other and going, you know what, I did that too. The only reason I may be here and I may seem fitter than you is because I started before you. And actually that's quite inspiring to see, but also at the same time not demotivating, because you can see where you can get to, and actually when you complete that again you get that feeling and it's like, you know what, I made that happen, I did that.
We all want to be able to do the things that we want to do, whether that's climb a hillside, get on the floor with our grandchildren, go skiing. It doesn't matter what your aspirations are. It may be just to be able to take your dog for a walk without getting out of breath. And that's the reason why the ladies come to Fruci Fit.
To be honest, I really enjoyed myself because I don't do much exercise, but I've been coming to Fruci, and because of that I've been able to do it. I'm not too tired, and I'm going home and have a cup of tea.
We're all start from a low point. I couldn't squat when I started, probably a little bit low mood. Join this and it's the best thing I've ever done. My fitness is just ridiculous. You want to come to the classes and it becomes a little bit addictive, which I've done a lot of fitness over the years, and this is it's unique.
It's the friendliness and the trainers who watch every move and they know what you're doing, and if you're not doing it quite right for your body, then they're telling you. But everyone's so good to us, really
Fantastic. You can probably hear in the background the atmosphere of sort of cheering and camaraderie as people are taking turns and doing it. They've set us up with a challenge but trained us well, and the support you get from the trainers as they're cheering us along and the other ladies is just fantastic. It's a real team. We're really enjoying it.
Oh, I think you're muted, so.
So that's awesome. And I think
And we're back. We're back.
that's great. And I think that's just one of the events we do. We do other community events, and I think it's the community spirit that exists amongst the ladies now. I mean, they go walking in the Lake District, like just as groups now of people that come together that have never met before. It's just an incredible part of Fruci Fit, and yeah, how everybody's lives are touched. And I think Stephen, we had a conversation when we first met you about how even Fruci Fit had indirectly touched your own life, and that's what I like about Fruci Fit. It touches as many people's lives as it possibly can, because let's face it, having our health and our fitness for as long as possible to do the things that we want to do is just an amazing thing. And you know, we have Matt to thank for that.
And I want to thank Matt publicly. I'm not by any stretch of imagination under 40. Over 40. I'm not a woman, but I have benefited from Matt's advice because my partner Angelica has been with Fruci Fit for nearly 2 years now, And one of the parts that Matt does cover is diabetes. And I was diagnosed last July. So through Angelica, I've had a lot of help from Matt. So Matt, thank you for the information that you put out there, which has made a difference.
No, that's great. And well done taking action on it. That's the key thing, right? So, yeah.
Now, I noticed when I was looking around that you have a very active, I mean, Julie said earlier, I completely, it's very busy in there. You're putting ideas forward every single day, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So Fruci Fit is the sessions, and you could have, well, you want to explain the sessions?
Yeah, so like I said before, we got a range of sessions, and we always make it so that we're very much more around the small group personal training. So we've got that like-mindedness, so big enough to get quite a lot of energy from the group, because like I said, in terms of the research, the accountability and support, we know gets great results, but equally small enough so we can keep eyes on you, your form, your technique, make sure you're doing it safely, correctly, make sure that you're progressing over time as well. And as we get to know you, that's easier to do. And that's why it can take a bit of time, because we don't just want to beast you from day one, but rather see where you're at and then progress you over time. So we have quite small group sessions, and we have them every day, whether from home or in person. So you can make it as convenient as you want, aka doing it from home on your lunch break, as many people do, because something is always better than nothing, and your body doesn't care where, what, how you get it done, just that you get it done. It's what you do on average that counts. And yes, I'm sure a lot of people say I could never motivate myself from home. That's what everyone says. And I don't work as hard, and that's fine. But you're getting it done. What's the alternative? Do nothing, right? But if you can make it a bit more personal, great, then you'll come in. And that's brilliant too. We got sessions 6:30 in the morning, 7:15, 8 o'clock, 9:30, 10:15, lunchtime, evenings from 4:45 down to 7:30 finish. As well as all this, we also do the weekends, but also one-to-one as well. You know, some people, depending on where they're at as well, whether they just prefer it from a point of view of preference, or whether there's maybe a condition there that we want to go in a bit more detail with. You know, we work with people with a range of conditions, whether that's maybe they're rehabbing out something and they're building up their confidence again from an injury, or things like Parkinson's, injuries and etc. that have gone in the past. Or some people want a bit more of the nutrition focused, and they just come in for that part, and that's okay too. And actually, quite often, the other part will come with that. You know, we might come here for the nutrition, but actually then the training is actually helping that. And equally the other way, I don't need help with my nutrition. We come in for the training. Great, we'll get you fitter, stronger. But now you're focusing on getting fitter, stronger. Guess what? We need to actually focus on your nutrition to make sure you get the most out of the training to get fitter and stronger. So it always finds a way, and then it comes back to, okay, your food, your fitness, your focus. Because if it's not one of them, well, how's your sleep? How's your stress? All these come into it then. So yeah.
Perfect. So I'm just in Julie's message. Thank you. Right now, thank you both for an amazing. I mean, the thing is, when you, as you said, when you're chatting, time just flies.
It has flown.
That's flown. I know from personal experience how effective being trained at Fruci Fit is, and I just want to say thank you, Matt. Thank you, Julie. And do you have? I normally start a broadcast, but you could both have a closing statement. How's that? Ladies first.
Yeah, Julie, you go first.
Okay, so what I would say to anyone listening to this that keeps putting off, I need to get fitter, or I need to get healthier, stop putting it off. You know, you get one life. Let's make the most of that life. And you need your health and fitness. And everybody that walks in our door naturally has concerns, worries. We all do that. It's human nature. But don't. Set them aside. The ladies are lovely. The coaches are great. It's awesome fun. You'll enjoy the journey, and you'll make some great friends along the way. So come and knock on our door and join us, because it's good fun and you won't regret it.
Love it. I'm going to go the other end. So let's say you have started, and what I would say is one take home from that, whether you started with Fruci Fit or anywhere, any fitness, any health journey, anything like that, is that just know that around 3 to 4 weeks in, or when things get a bit hard, it's very easy to fall off the wagon, to quit, to go, it's not working, it's not this. And actually, I want you to reverse that and go, actually, it's good that you're getting those thoughts in, because they're normal. If you look at the adherence rates, if you look at the success of any health and fitness program out there, they're very low, really low. But actually, if we can change our mindset here and go, great, I'm getting these feelings, thoughts, I'm about to have a breakthrough, I'm about to overcome this obstacle. If I just keep going, even if I'm not motivated, even if I'm stressed, even if I don't have enough time, even if it's not as optimal as I'd like, if we can do something through that period, I'd challenge you to do that and get excited. Look forward to those moments, because you might be about to actually get sustainable results, which is what we talk about so often. But to get sustainable results, we have to do something a little bit different.
Right, I can say this now. From wonderful Wiltshire in England, from myself and Fruci Fit, it's goodbye for now. Is that okay? Is that a wrap? Shall we?
Thank you very much. Awesome.
Thanks, Stephen.